Hello, beautiful people. I'm Gwendolyn. We're going to be watching season 17, episode 14 of Sister Wives this time.
Janelle and Robin and Cody are going to be coming over here. Janelle wants to show us some of her plans.
Good, cute.
For her house that she's going to be putting on the property.
Cute, as she should.
But also, this is the first time that we've talked since Christine left, which is kind of weird for me.
That is weird. They've had like a hot second before they even talked to each other.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm living. I'm 6 feet over instead of under.
Probably closer to like 5'8", 5'9" over.
People who only had it for 3 days or just lost their sense of smell. You don't know what I went through. You don't know what I went through.
You guys want to see my house plan? But are we leaving that the same when there was 5 of us?
Yeah, I still want to get 5 lots. We can build something on there and have a rental property.
I wonder if it'll be like weird if they have a rental property, because then they'll have to be like living near strangers. Then again, you always live near strangers. Never mind. Ignore that.
I'm not really hoping to get anyone to say, oh, let's prioritize the money and pay off the land. I'm not expecting miracles. I'm just trying to like, hey guys, I'm ready to go. I have a plan. When I ask Cody about paying off the land, he'll say stuff like, I'm getting so mad about you asking. Then I just gonna keep asking because this is my estate.
Yeah, it's an important thing to talk about.
It's so weird just like talking like this.
This has not been a discussion.
With Christine leaving, we can talk about it. You're acting weird about it, Mary.
I am?
You can.
It's okay. He's just...
I'm not acting weird. Robin's the one who brought it up.
Weird. All of that was weird. It's weird to me that Robin was like trying to explain Dad's behavior to another one of his like wives that's been with him longer.
I think we need to talk more in this family. Christine leaving is like a wake-up call.
I think we spent too much time ignoring the struggle we were having. Talk about one house. Christine finally affirms that we really don't want one house.
One house was kind of weird though. Who did want that?
I mean, she wasn't speaking for everybody.
So, and here we go. There's the house.
2018. Wow. Forever ago.
She was speaking enough truth to make me go just how oppressive it would be for everybody to live together.
Period. It would be weird.
I was the only one who was like, yeah, one house. Everybody else was kind of on the spectrum.
I'm surprised Janelle wanted it.
With the way that we have treated each other this year through COVID, no. I've been shocked. We would have to get a lot of figured out.
Robin is absolutely right. COVID exposed us. The sense I've got is that we've failed.
It's not a failure.
We're still here and we don't need to fail more.
I don't know how to fix what's going on. They're not trying to fix it either.
This is as much pointed at me as it is at anybody else.
That part's true.
Christine leaving has put me in a very dark spot.
Cody has told me stories Robin would share with him that Christine was this horrible sister wife or whatever. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's a shock that she should leave.
Janelle's very conscious about what everything's been happening.
Venting to Cody about my sister wives actually harmed my relationship with him.
Which is so stupid. You should be allowed to vent.
I want to say something here. I'm really questioning on if I should.
Speak your truth.
About my situation with him.
Oh, speak your truth. Speak your truth!
But I'm just going to.
I can't handle I can't handle the suspense. I need to know what she's gonna say. I mean, I already kind of do know because she posted about it on her Instagram.
It's kind of disturbing because some of the things that he's frustrated about with Christine, he did to me.
I noticed that.
Oh, he wants to work on it with Christine, but not me.
I noticed that. Probably all did.
If people are just tired of trying, then I need to know.
And I think that you and I have had enough conversations that you know exactly where I am. And I am still here because I'm still trying. 6 years later, 20 years later, I'm still here.
Ooh, I love that honesty.
And there's silence.
I'm purposely just not saying anything. I don't want it to intimidate Cody and Janelle.
I'm exhausted. Like, who cares? If you're not with me, you're against me. F off.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Mary's trying to support me, and I don't want to be in a relationship with her anymore.
I'm so tired of him saying that. Say it to her face. God.
Janelle, I gotta hear from you.
I do think it feels like I'm being forced to choose between my children and this group.
When have they not felt welcome?
You talk about them like they're victim or villains all the time. What do you mean not felt welcome?
Cody's basically told me they can't come for Christmas unless they do a big apology.
The issues between me and Gabriel and Garrison basically have to do with lack of adherence to the COVID protocols and stuff like that.
That's not it. That's where he saw a problem, but they saw problems long before.
Didn't like
You
that
have to
happened.
know, Garrison and Gabriel are not the only children who have problems.
Yeah.
There's more than just Gabe and Garrison.
There's a general disgruntlement.
Janelle and her children are talking about me behind my back because nobody's confronting me with it.
When people do confront him with it, though, he always, like, acts like he's the victim in this situation. And he's like, you guys are being manipulative and stuff.
Why don't I even know?
You've hardly been around, Cody. You just are like, they should respect me.
Exactly.
I really don't know what's going on.
Robin's acting like she's never heard this before. I think she's pretending because Cody is a blabbermouth and he can't keep anything secret. This whole confused thing is something that happens a lot.
They really open up on that couch. That's insane.
I'm looking at Janelle wondering whose side she's on.
Sides.
Are you saying Garrison and Gabe can't be around? Or are you looking for, like, real resolution?
Well, I think we need resolution.
See, it sounds like they can't be around.
What the Sorry.
She said, sorry.
I don't even recognize this family or whatever.
Robin's the only good communicator in this whole family. I'm communicator.
At least he knows that he's a bad communicator.
There's a term they use for Robin. It's called circling the donkey. Unfair term for her, but the fact is it's a compliment.
It's hard to be a plural wife when your husband has a wife leaving him. And most men in monogamy, they just date whoever and they're angry. He's doing with that while he's married.
Damn. She really opened up with that.
Plural marriage isn't all beer and Skittles. It's not for men.
I don't know if he, like...
It's just obvious that it's difficult. You're going to share your husband? Well, why would you do that?
It seems like he's saying that he wasn't for plural marriage. I think the whole, like, higher calling forces people to perform and be part of plural marriage, and it's not great.
All right, well, I gotta go get Savannah.
I'd like
I guess we can see your plans at another time.
I'll show you really fast. Savannah can wait for just a few minutes. So that's what it looks like.
She's so cute. She said, I have to go, but I'm going to show you this first.
Now we're looking at plans and like getting all happy and everything like that. I think that was a mistake. We should have finished the crucial conversation.
Valid points.
Before I got COVID, Janelle decided that she wanted to get an apartment.
I'm so excited to be done with the RV. Oh,
Hi, honey.
Holy cow.
Sorry, it's
It's like moving, isn't it?
yeah,
Jeez.
it's pretty chaotic.
You want to give me a hug?
the way he asked for hugs is really weird.
You want to sit there and look at me?
This is the first time I've seen Dad since he had COVID. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. When he comes over, it's more like just a visit instead of being there, living there, you know?
Period. You tell him, Savannah. She made a really good point. It just feels like a visit, for real. Like Dad's visiting.
With the way that our family works, it's always kind of been that way. I think that's fair in a lot of ways. Dad didn't like the trailer, but hopefully now that we are moved into a better place to live, in my opinion, he'll start coming over a lot more often.
Oh yeah, the space just isn't big enough.
Or maybe perhaps not.
Should we go get something to eat?
Yeah, I finally am not worried about getting COVID. I'm starving too. I should eat something.
Let's go. That'll be fun.
We're back in Utah. Yes.
So how do you like living here, Christine?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah?
I was hoping that we would see you guys all the time and hoping we'd see McKelty and Tony all the time. We really haven't. I love it.
I'm glad we're seeing more of Mitchell.
Every time I drive to Flagstaff, I go around this corner and there the mountain is. The same mountains that Angel sang to me before. Yeah, those mountains.
She said the angels lied.
I have to go back.
That was probably a very nice thing to see. Not to brag.
A week before I left Flagstaff,
You never tried to have a really good relationship with these other people.
I need space.
We've all seen the
For
scene.
right now.
For right now.
Her kids think I don't want a relationship with them.
Yeah.
No wonder it's so hard. No wonder everything's so weird. I feel like there's this huge chasm. In order to cross it, I have to build a bridge with Robin.
No, I totally get that. Like, I want to have a relationship with my siblings, but it's so hard to reconnect with somebody that, like, had such a falling out with my mom. It's weird. I totally get where she's coming from.
Hey ladies, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Cute. I like this little meeting setup.
I'm living.
I'm living.
Well, I mean, okay, so Thanksgiving's a week from today, and I am actually going to North Carolina.
Yay.
What are you doing for Christmas?
I'm here. Yeah.
What about your kids?
They're renting an Airbnb.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
I don't think they're welcome, right?
I never said my kids weren't welcome.
If they apologize.
No. I completely reversed that. I said all we've got to do is be able to have a conversation. So
Your boys are as stubborn as you are, so
Maybe it's not completely about stubbornness, but that, like, they just don't feel safe around him.
yeah, because everybody's coming this year.
Everybody is? This is just like Janelle to sort of keep me in the dark about the plans.
Cody, you're the one who said they can't come until they
I didn't
apologize.
say-
That's what you said. You've said that to me multiple times. They need to apologize.
But he is trying to emphasize the point that he doesn't want an apology anymore, so.
Christine said that Isabel and everybody are coming home and they want to come see the family here.
Oh man, this is exactly what I was afraid of with Christine leaving.
She's just coming in town.
The Truly and Isabel can see you.
Okay, am I the only one that sees this as some
Wait.
kind of betrayal?
What?
A betrayal.
They're just coming in to visit family.
You don't want her to bring the kids to see you?
But you're talking about everybody going to some neutral zone? This is my house.
The last I knew is that they boys couldn't come until they showed respect and apologized.
You guys are going to have to weigh in on this. I'm not going to shoulder this whole damn thing.
The Airbnb idea was a good idea because it's not like they've ever invited them to stay at Robin's house.
I can't identify what it is specifically about it bothering me. I was like, is this bothering you guys?
What was I supposed to do, Cody? What were they supposed to do?
Stay at Robin's house?
There's been no movement on Cody's side, and I'm not going to leave my kids here in Flagstaff having a separate Christmas when I'm at Robin's with her and her kids and Cody and Mary.
If I was in the same situation as Janelle is in, and all of my kids were going to be in town, I for sure would want to go be with them.
Yeah, exactly.
I corrected that. I said that's not a good idea.
I do understand that he corrected the fact that he didn't want an apology, and I feel like it's excessive to keep being like, you wanted an apology, but I see where she's coming from, because...
If you were like Logan or Hunter, I made them hold hands and crap
Janelle,
out.
you're acting like you're not even culpable in this situation.
Culpable?
What did she do wrong? She, like, misspread information.
For not having any respect for me about the COVID.
Cody, you were asking me to
Rules.
choose between my children
Oh my
and
God.
you.
He said it's your fault for not respecting me.
You actually belittled the stuff I was doing.
The stuff we were doing was excessive. We shouldn't have to Lysol envelopes. In her defense, it was excessive, and she had kids.
I'm mad as hell because, you know what? Everybody put the on me.
No,
It's like the knife in my kidneys.
And then when I finally get sick from COVID, that was a death-like experience.
This is why they invented. Oh my
Weird.
God! This is why they invented vaccinations.
This is the same old, same old.
Ugh, I cannot believe that I have done all this to save you, to save Truly. I did not know that it wouldn't harm them. Zero respect.
First yelling at Christine, now yelling at Janelle.
Let's just keep talking, even if it's intense.
I had the...
You're acting like this is my fault.
It would have been great to have had a backup.
It's not her fault that you decided not to be a present father.
I was following
would've
all the
been nice.
CDC guidelines. I was not a COVID denier. I'm vaccinated, for crying out loud.
Period. He didn't follow the guidelines. He followed his own rules and forced everybody else to. Otherwise, they wouldn't be allowed in his life.
In the last 18 months, I've realized that I'm independent.
Period, Janelle.
I don't really want to be here anymore.
I just survived a really, really
I
dark...
understand.
Oh my God.
Look at you, dismissing it.
Cody, can we please keep talking, Janelle, please?
Janelle, this is a really bad idea for you to walk off on this one.
Janelle's just getting yelled at. Why would she want to stay there? It's reasonable for her to leave and not be comfortable with that. He's treating her like he was treating my mom at her house. And this isn't a safe space for Janelle. It's a random location.
Well, all you're doing is yelling at me.
If he stops yelling,
Yeah.
can we keep talking, please?
Quiet your husband.
I have a few more minutes.
Period. She said time is ticking.
I started all of this discussion about vacation rental because, Cody, you told me that the boys were not welcome until they apologized to everybody. And so...
No, it's just me and Robin.
Whoa. I don't know why he's bringing up my name.
But just a second ago, he was like, you don't need to apologize. And now he's saying, yeah, he needs to apologize to me and Robin.
Robin wasn't asking for the apology. This is
Confused
me originally asking for apology. Maybe this year we actually do skip Christmas together.
And we did. We skipped Christmas together. We haven't had Christmas together since.
I think a lot of people put a lot of blame on Robin in our family.
I think we've all taken our turns being the one blamed.
No,
until-
Janelle, because I feel like we've had years. This is what happened.
Because he was disrespected.
Christine just left.
Christine led up to it.
He always wants to fall back to this, I've been divorced. It wasn't like it broadsided you.
You want people around you to pick sides because you're going through pain.
I literally, ladies, I'm really sorry. The thing, Robin, I knew better than to do this. And I'm sure everybody else is having heartbreak. I'm sure Garrison and Gabriel are having heartbreak. They probably wish I was as loyal to them as I wish that they were to me. And we've kind of been at war with each other.
The difference is that you're the dad. Like, you can't blame the kids for when the dad messes up, you know? Like, that's a parent situation. That's a parent problem.
I wasn't going to miss an opportunity that all my children almost are going to be home.
Yeah, of course you're going to go with your children.
They get to pick and choose who they hang out with, but I don't. It's weird to me.
You do. You actively pick and choose who you hang out with.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
4. It was solid of Robin to be like, if he stops yelling at you, will you come back? I can shut him up. Whoa! Is this like the finale before the... Oh my god, you guys. We're on episode 14. It looks like the next one is the last one. We caught up very quickly. Congratulations to us. That was a lot of work, and we've come here and we're at the finish line, and we did it, and we did it together. I keep seeing my dad my brothers. I keep seeing my brothers are like, our dad's not like this great person, and we have this type of relationship with him. But it's really weird to see, because growing up, like, I think that the women genuinely did not have it as good as the boys had it, and now, like, the boys are suddenly being treated like the women have been treated, you know? Because as a kid, my dad got along better with Gabriel, for example, and that's a really good example, because Gabe's just 4 days older than me. And now all of a sudden, Gabe's like, and the other boys are seeing what it's like to not be preferred by your father. And it feels like they're just catching up so quickly. And that's why they're going through this, like, they're completely separated. It's weird to me because I'm like, I'm used to this. And this is like new for them. So that's very exciting in a bad way. I'm very excited for Janelle to finally be out of that RV because it was a fun time for her. But, like, seeing all of the RV problems, like, while watching the show, it's just so much. And it's like when they replay the scenes from the argument my dad had with, like, all of the wives, and he's, like, wasted. It feels like that. It feels like it's just excessive, and there's just more and more and more stacked up on it, and I'm just glad that finally we're not going to see that as much, because I despised those scenes so much. That meeting with the parents where my dad was like yelling at Janelle and Janelle was like gonna walk off because she was like, I'm not dealing with this. I take care of yourself and don't let yourself be pushed down and stuff. I thought that was solid. And then Robin was like, if he stops yelling at you, will you stay? I thought that was awesome of Robin to be like, to point out that she was being yelled at and she was like backing her up. So that was all a pretty solid thing. A lot of like emotional maturity was going on. Still with the yelling, which I didn't love. But, you know, conversations were being had, and that's healthy. And I love that. Okay, after that, we're going to be doing the Q&A section from the patrons on Patreon. And I'm going to go read those and figure out which ones are the most popular, like with the most likes. And then I'll answer those in a little bit. All right, lovely, beautiful people. I have some questions. These are the ones with the most likes from the Patreon. Anastasia Barrett says, did Janelle ever manage to build on the land, or has she given up on that idea now due to the fact that she is separated from her dad? Janelle has not built on the land. We still have no property out there. I feel like the most likely reason is that she's separated and she's like, I have no reason to want to live here anymore. And if I was Janelle, I would want to live around my kids. So if, like, putting myself in Janelle's place, I'd rather live in, like, North Carolina or somewhere where my kids are. Elizabeth B. says, the show made it seem like your brothers had an okay time working on your grandpa and uncle's polygamous compound in Wyoming in the summers with your first cousin, Benjamin Brown, who lived there full time. Benjamin, he's a TikTok, a short book. He's a comedian. He's actually doing really well, which is kind of impressive that he didn't have to profit off of the whole Sister Wives things to be able to get himself that fame. So I'm really happy for him. He said he had a rough time. The boys, it was their idea, like the boys on my side, it was their idea to work on the farm, to work on the ranch in Wyoming. So they liked it. When they did do it, there was like 1 year, I think, where my uncle was like too rough on them, and so they stopped doing it. But like when they did do it, they liked it. But like eventually they did stop. But I don't think it was anywhere near as bad as Benjamin was going through. Deanna says, has your dad always been such a drama queen? His temperature wasn't high enough to be considered having a fever. His 6 feet over, not 6 feet under. Death-led experience. Seemed a bit on the dramatic side. I just kept thinking they should have been vaccinated if they were so worried about catching it. I agree. It kind of is pretty dramatic. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely agree that they should have just been vaccinated because they're like, oh, my poor children are gonna get it and die. Then vaccinate your kids, you know? Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how he acts. He's like, for example, when like white people like myself like go through a kind of rough experience and they're like, oh my god, life is so hard, or like people that are excessively privileged go through a hard time. I feel like that's just what it was, that he's just used to being excessively privileged, which I'm not saying I'm not excessively privileged. I am completely, but I feel like that was the kind of situation that it was where he was just not used to struggling that much. Kelly Chambly says, you said once before that you and your siblings probably contributed to your mom's decision to leave your dad. Do you think something similar happened with Janelle? Such a good question, actually. I didn't even think about it before. Absolutely. Like, there's no way, because Janelle's, like, a loyal person, and she's, like, oh, happy and beautiful and perfect in every way, but her kids were, like, going through it with my dad, so seeing them, like, having a hard relationship with my father was probably, like, a breaking point for her, where she was like, this is just too much, and I don't want to deal with him anymore if he's going to be like this to my kids. And that's how it was with my mom, and that's probably how it is with Janelle. Elizabeth B. says again, do you think Cody delayed on prioritizing the paying off of Coyote Pass land to punish Janelle, or who was very eager to build, but displeased by him not enforcing the COVID rules with her kids? Maybe, honestly, that's a good point, because it doesn't seem like there was any other reason for him to delay building on the property or anything else. I feel like one of the most likely reasons could be that he was just doing it as a punishment to Janelle. Elizabeth B. says again, some of your family members said your dad is now looking to move out of Flagstaff. Thoughts? Makes sense. He doesn't really like to stay anywhere for too long. That's what happened with Wyoming when I was born there, when we left like 5 years later. That's what happened with Utah. Not really. That's not what happened with Utah. We were kind of kicked out. But that's what happened with Las Vegas as well, where he just kind of got tired of where it was. And so I would not be surprised if he wanted to leave Flagstaff, especially because there's a lot of history here, and he might be in the same boat as my mom was, where she was like, oh, I hate it here. It makes me miserable to come back here. Maybe my dad's just like, it makes me miserable to be here. So maybe. Susan Spencer says, I think in general the big question for a lot of us is, did Cody ever make it right by Janelle and Mary financially? Sale of the Vegas homes, finance Robin's house, he hopes to stay around long enough to pay off Coyote Pass, brought in a lot of income to the family over the years, so it's gross to see how Robin didn't bring in much from Fry's closet. Well, Janelle is living as cheaply as possible to save to build on her own home, and Robin wearing $400 flip-flop. Can you shed any light on this? I did not know Robin was wearing $400 flip-flops. That doesn't sound like her, though. She doesn't seem like excessive like that. But yeah, I agree. I think that my dad and Robin have a terrible habit of spending very crazy and like not within their means at all. But also Janelle and Mary are like kind of similar to my mom in that they're not going to be like salty or petty and try to like take money from him, even though they totally deserve it because he's been spending all of their money on whatever. So probably not, but they'll probably be a lot better off now that they're no longer with him and they're no longer financially tied to him, because they still make a lot of money separately. Then Pam says, when Janelle's house had COVID, did Cody go over and help him like he said in the past he would? Probably not. I wasn't there, but I strongly doubt that he would have. And then also my husband watched this episode with me, period. And when Janelle said her kids were coming home for Christmas, my husband said Cody looked afraid. Could he be afraid to face all you kids after the mess he's made of the family and would rather avoid all of you than take accountability? Honestly, that would be so valid. He'd be afraid to like take accountability. I could totally get like where he's coming from and like why he would look afraid. It makes sense to me. That's actually a really good point. So, sure. And that's all of the big questions, the most popular ones from the Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, and please like this video if you're interested in more like this, and please comment, let me know if you like any opinions you had about this. Maybe you're as happy as I am that she's no longer in the RV and we won't have to see any more content like that. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in season 17, episode 15.